You are tuned into the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
Episode 115 of the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. I make beats. I have the hard drive to prove it, and apparently everyone else has a hard drive here as well. Episode 115.
I hope so.
Lonegevity, what's happening, my man?
Hello, how's it going?
It's going good. I like your branding with the mug as always. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, bringing down the band.
Yeah, that is the hub. Shout out to sponsors, Coleman Dental 317.
Yeah, how you feeling?
I'm good. 317-255-8546. Get your teeth right. Shout out to Red August giggling like a young child as well in the background, as well as Indie CD and Vinyl, Printfinity, and No Bad Ideas. They've laced us. Shout out to this camouflage joint right here, strap on the back, so they usually take care of us, so we appreciate them as well. DJ Jay Diff rocking the Boston Bruins joint. I see you.
Salutations.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Good.
Me and Kodak decide to be Boston Bruins today.
I see what we're doing there. I kind of feel out of place. I see Boston Bruins slight theme today. Speaking of Kodak, out here masquerading out here. I don't know if he's promoting violence or he's just being himself today. The voice of Indianapolis, Mr. Wavy Light Skin Girls Be Loving Me Now. I did see a flare up on his Instagram. We ain't gonna talk
flare
about
up?
just a flare. Jay Moore is with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. To my immediate left, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm not going to mention what we talked about.
Thanks.
You know what
For
I'm
not
saying?
You just
mentioning it
mentioned
because
it.
you just did.
See? I'm not going to bring that up. You are legit. You're a legit fan.
I don't want to talk about it.
Right. My condolences, though. I know you're a legit fan, so my condolences. We'll leave it at that.
I said I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
There's a bridge under that. I mean, there's water under that bridge.
No, for real, though. Seriously, though, I don't want to talk about it.
Let me ask, though, is that a crit hoodie that you have on?
This is, yes, indeed.
I like that.
Yep.
I like what you're
It says
doing with
crit
that.
on it.
That's why I was wondering. I
Yep.
see it down there with the crown.
You was wondering after
Don't do
you
that.
seen it
Don't
down
do
there
that.
with the
Don't do
crowd.
that. I just saw it, man. Calm down.
I'm not hyped.
Hey, you and Kodak on bullshit. I see right now.
I hope so.
Shout out to Red August giggling happily. He will take care of your bat mitzvah. What is it? Bat mitzvah? Bat mitzvah. How you say it? I messed
Bar
up.
mitzvah.
Bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
He'll take care of those.
There's two, right?
What's that? What's the
There's
second
one
one?
bar
Girls
mitzvah
and
and a
one-
bat mitzvah.
There we go. Yeah.
Fair enough. He'll take care of that. Family reunions.
Kodak knows that, but doesn't know what monogamous means. You know?
Yeah, we're gonna pray for Kodak. All right, episode 115.
I
put
think
my
Kodak good, man. His record doing all right.
You know what? I'll give him credit because he sounds like he has, I guess, matured a little bit from his situation. I know he, coming off actually he's looking to, he has a situation down the road, but, Ebro was trying to talk to him about that. He got him up out of there. So his album, I guess, is doing pretty good.
Ask him
We'll
about
see.
it.
So Kodak, how's the album?
It's good.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and jump into the rundown. Did I miss any shout outs? Did we covered everybody? We got the sponsors. Did I miss anything else?
I think we're ready to go.
Yeah,
Oh
let's get
boy.
into it.
Okay.
Ready
So
to go.
I'm gonna try my bringing down the band. I'm gonna show this. I'm bringing down the band notes. We're gonna try this instead of me, continuously looking down at my phone. We're gonna try this. Hopefully this works. We'll see. There'll be variations of this. I might do my laptop. We'll see. But I got to get away from the phone.
I will note, Sean, before it even happened, skeptical.
Yeah, I am.
Appreciate it, Spoolz.
I am. I think maybe a PowerPoint presentation on the back, maybe.
Back here or I need
Somewhere,
something to reference.
Somewhere where you could see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough right now as I look this microphone here. But we're going to make this thing happen. 45 has been in the news recently.
Has he?
Yeah, he been on some bullshit. He's been telling a lot of lies.
You don't say.
CNN has actually been taking
Orange Trump.
CNN has been actually counting, and they have a video montage of all the lies. We were originally told something about Mexico paying for a wall. I believe that's what it was. They said Mexico was going to pay for some sort of a wall for border protection.
Pay for it, then we were going to build them, and now it's in our hands.
And it was supposed to be concrete. No, is that right? Am I wrong?
I don't know what the material was.
Yeah, the Democrats, I guess. Apparently, allegedly,
the Democrats.
I haven't saw the fact checking on his speech tonight. But, he definitely said the Democrats were the ones that suggested steel.
So, and I believe he said there was going to be a steel see-through wall that you could still see through.
See-through wall.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
I'm just going off what 45 said.
So they're like steps now. Now they can grab onto it.
Yeah, he said we still need to be able to see through it, so there will be some form of steel that we can look through to see what's on the other side.
Cow.
So
that's cute.
He originally said it was going to be 100% concrete.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, shout out to Wakanda. T'Challa, we see,
because that's who's gonna have to make that wall metal to where you could see through it.
Vibranium. Yeah.
It has to have some vibranium in it.
Well, apparently his campaign was based off vibranium.
Got you.
So fair enough. This is weird. This is interesting. Pablo Escobar's brother wants Trump impeached, and he's trying to get that bread behind it. This is per CNN. It says, no one would expect anyone from Pablo Escobar's family to be a fan of Trump's administration, but the late drug lord's older brother is on a mission to get the 45th president impeached. Sounds like he has raised up to $50 million on a GoFundMe.
Was that the goal, or is that what he's
It's
raised?
just, I believe it says it raised at least $50 million. His goal is to raise at least $50 million.
Oh, so not that he has not raised.
Right. I don't think it's confirmed that he has raised, but he's trying to put that bread into getting 45 out of there, which I find hilarious. But I don't know how much.
Doesn't he have the money tucked somewhere that he can just pull
You
out?
think he'd have way
have
more than?
Have you watched Narcos? It should be just in the ground somewhere.
I haven't, so I guess.
I wonder if he's checked the ground.
Has he? You think he's checked? I don't think he's checked the ground.
If he hasn't,
I'm sure there's more than 50 million.
he will after he hears this show.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead and just tap into the funds.
I don't think that's going to make a difference regardless anyway. I mean,
this is
impeachment, and I think what a lot of people don't understand what impeaching means. That does not necessarily mean you lose your presidential seat. Because if you don't remember or recall, Clinton was impeached. But
Facts.
he still finished out his term. There's only one other president that was impeached, and I believe that was Thomas Jefferson.
No.
Who was it?
We got to fact check that one.
It wasn't
not
Thomas
Jefferson. It's
I
not
want to say
Jefferson.
it might have been Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the old ones, but
Nixon was going to be.
he was going to be.
He was
But
close,
he
right?
resigned.
He resigned.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So it's not that cut and dry situation where everybody's so rah-rah about him being impeached. We're actually in a situation, too, if he gives up his seat, then we have Mike Pence, and we've talked about that, too. So,
well, shout out to my friend. I got a friend that lives in the DMV area that works for the government who has been, what I believe the term is furlough, if I'm not mistaken. So, basically, without that bread for, what is this, 2 weeks? I have to, is it going on?
Day after Christmas,
approaching
I
3
believe.
weeks. I think by Friday it would be the longest government shutdown in history. It's approaching that.
Is it really?
I think it's getting close.
I feel like it's been shut down under the last two presidents too.
I believe so. Yeah.
But I think we're reaching or getting close to uncharted territories in terms of just the extent of it, or if you will. But
I know they didn't get paid, but did they still get their benefits?
that's a good question. I'd have to fact check that one. But if you think about it from people that have a mortgage standpoint or
it sucks.
Rent or just daycare, child care, whatever. Like, it's crazy that he's willing to go that far in order to just get the wall, which in my opinion is just a symbol of something that he'll be able to say it's the Trump wall. It's like a monument. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like to me. It's like I'll be able to say I did this. Like, fuck what everybody else is talking about. Fuck the people I inconvenience. I'll be able to say I did the Trump wall, and then it's just cool. Like, to me, that's trash because there's so many people that are being inconvenienced. And then he's doubling down saying, well, I'm sure the people that are being inconvenienced and ass out right now at this point totally agree with me in terms of, you know, standing firm on my wall situation. To me, that's trash because I find it hard to believe that there are people out there that are really, really gung-ho about this wall as they are ass out without bread.
Well, I'll go ahead.
He also made a statement saying that the only people that do not support the wall are criminals and sex traffickers and criminals or something. Or I don't. There's one other thing. But
That's bullshit. Kodak, jump in.
Well, one of the things I think a lot of people don't think about is the fact that most Americans, regardless of their economic status,
we might have to get Jay Moore back.
Okay, he
Kodak.
might have to come. Okay, he's gonna come back in a minute.
Let Kodak cook though. Let Kodak cook though. We're gonna let him cook.
Is that most Americans, regardless of their economic status, are only maybe a paycheck or two away from being out on the streets, and that speaks to a lot of how about our economic situation is just as far as people run their personal finances. But you know, a lot of that comes down from the top because, you know, honestly, our government is broke. We owe everybody, so it's not like they can sit in any judgment of any individual who can't pay their bills because they're out of a couple of paychecks. And you know, one of the things that I saw that's really going to bring this to a head is they're not paying TSA agents.
Mm-hmm.
Or
They've
not
been
TSA,
calling in.
the people who are supposed to be, you know, if you want to talk about border security, let's talk about airport security.
I'm planning to take a fight in February. I'm low key kind of scared because
if those people
Banks will
decide,
be
look, I'm
unchecked.
not coming to work
Right.
if I'm not going to be paid. And I
Right.
found out something really disturbing where, you know, in Atlanta, they said, okay, well, we'll go ahead and let those people park for free. I'm like, how do people who work at the airport not park for free? What is
Oh,
that?
dude, no, that's the case. My sister, I've definitely had family that have worked for just state government.
Yeah.
And they definitely had to pay to park.
Yeah,
like
that's
for
terrible.
sure. But no, I think to the point that you had made before, Mike, I think this shows, I think we've talked about this before too, but this shows exactly where people's like priorities lie.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm sure the people working for the government right now, like, and just so we know, like, federal worker doesn't mean they're like all Republicans and Trump supporters. They were probably federal workers way before Trump ever even, you know what I mean? So like
People who work at national parks.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
You know.
everybody's kind of just they're out. There's no check for them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, to say the government wouldn't be shut down right now if some people didn't want this wall.
Right.
That's all I'll say. So, yeah.
Jay Diff, I'm coming to you. I want to hear your 2 cents on this as well, but I'll also mention that the president at this point is really saying he's threatening to do the national emergency.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is? Is that the correct phrase? I hope that's correct. I think it's a national emergency or some
Declare
shit
a
like
national emergency.
Yeah, he's going to declare that so that he can, you know what I'm saying, get his way, which to me just gives the vibe of a child. It's like, all right, I'm just going to do, you know, whatever I need to do in order to get this to happen. But I say that to say, what are your just thoughts in general? I'm sure it echoes what we talked about, but what are your thoughts in general in terms of him and this standoff between the Democrats and, you know, him not budging while people are being inconvenienced?
I mean, it goes to him pretty much throwing a grown man temper tantrum
Right.
for the most part, not getting what he wants, and he's trying to make it from the presidential address. He was pretty much stating that it's an emergency and it needs to happen now. We don't have enough room to house all these kids, and we want to get the kids over or back to Mexico unharmed and things like that. But at the same time, even if this wall does start to begin to be built, it's going to take years to finish that.
Right.
So what's the end game right now if that's the case? You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't make sense. If people are coming over here, I don't understand what the problem is as far as getting them back home without any issue if you're right there on the border or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not adding up to me, and I'm sure it's not adding up to a lot of Americans either. But on the other hand, you have some that think this wall is going to solve every problem that we have, because even if it comes down to drug trafficking and things like that, there's going to be ways to get that in here regardless.
They're going to adapt.
Yeah.
Like they always have.
You know, and one of the things that's lost on a lot, they think this, you know, they're trying to say who this belongs to. This belongs to the Democrats now that they control the House of Representatives. The thing is, there are enough Republican votes because they realize how bad this plays in middle America for them to have the government shut down over one issue. But the thing is, Mitch McConnell will not call for a vote. So this belongs to Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell, because if Donald Trump wanted to end it, it would be ended. If Mitch McConnell would call for a vote, they'd vote to reopen the government. So it belongs to those two. They can't put it on anyone else.
Well, he actually said he was, if it takes weeks, it takes months. To me, this is all hyperbole.
He said even a year
like
or more.
To me, this is all hyperbole. It's all gas. But it sounds, it sounds good. It's a hot take. If it takes weeks, it takes months, it takes years. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lone. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I feel for the people that are struggling through the shutdown.
Right.
But I hope that they don't budge.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they force him to continue to do this.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think. I think most Americans agree. Like, don't give this kid who's having a temper tantrum a fruit roll up just so he'll be quiet.
It's like negotiating with a terrorist.
And this is over, guys. I mean, we talked about this too a couple episodes. A wall that, like,
with a mask on.
People are already bringing stuff, like bringing drugs and everything else into the country, like, in ways that a wall wouldn't prevent. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's just it's befuddling, dude. And what a fucking waste of money.
It just like I said, I was telling.
Like a gigantic waste of money.
It just strikes me as a Trump memorial wall. Like it strikes me as something that he can just always be able to say, "Hey, I did this."
Like a monument of sorts.
Exactly. It's like a monument. You know what I'm
and for
saying?
him to say what I don't understand it, because in light of the shutdown, he's talking about how he can relate as far as people not being paid right now. How?
That's the
I can
dumbest.
relate to that.
That's the dumbest shit I heard him say, because I'm like, first of all, you come from wealth, so
Right.
I don't understand where the correlation is with you being able to relate to people that are assed out right now.
Well, he's saying it's
you
because
have put a halt on the government.
well, they're trying to say, well, he doesn't take a salary as president.
That's bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
but you know what? They go to his resort every time.
Exactly.
So in a way, they're paying him almost more than what he should be paid
You're
as president.
you're still a real estate mogul. You still have
Yeah.
multiple properties that are bringing income. You still have what you were prior to becoming the president. So I'm cool on all that. I can relate.
Donald Trump is no civil servant by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I'm cool.
And what
on
he
that.
makes from being a president is a drop in the barrel of what he generally gets anyway.
Exactly.
Okay,
So I'm
yeah, definitely.
I'm cool. I'm cool on him trying to draw
What's the
a
president
parallel
makes?
for that.
What did I say, like
No,
200,000?
I think they
250,
up
I
to
think.
400,000.
Is it
Come on,
400
man.
now?
Yeah, I think it's 400,000.
He
But
made
still,
he made that bread on reality shows. Come on, man.
He probably made that yesterday, with a few of his properties or whatever he has going on.
Yeah,
So,
I'm cool on it. I can relate because I know they have the end goal in mind. Like I didn't get a chance to see the full address today, but I'd be curious. I'm gonna go back and listen to it. I'd be curious to see how much bull was in that. But
look, whenever he leaves Washington, where does he go? A hotel or a resort?
facts.
They have to have his Secret Service detail.
Yep.
All his staff come with him. And if they're resorts or hotels he owns
Yep.
and the government pays to put those people up, where's that money going? So
Right.
he doesn't
Right
have
in
to
his
take a
pocket.
salary. He's probably made well over $400,000 just, in the past 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So let's not applaud him for not taking a salary as president of the United States, considering he's used the office to enrich he and his family.
Yeah. Also, let's say fuck this mask, because
Okay.
as an audio person, this is messing with my ears.
It's bothering you a little bit, huh?
It's been bothering me for 20 minutes.
Kodak, we appreciate
All right,
you though.
all
Go
right.
ahead and handle
All right,
that
I'm gonna
though.
have to
it's a little
unmasking.
muffled.
Yeah,
Just a little bit.
we appreciate you though, Kodak. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, look, it's Jay Moore. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
man?
what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Jay Moore, how are you,
Also,
sir?
I couldn't enjoy my beverage with that mask.
Sweet. Let's go back and record the first part.
No. No.
Let's not say that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what about Kodak?
Fuck the show, right?
Yeah, no, right.
No, let it go on for 20 minutes and then let's do it over again.
No, let's not do that and say that we
We could all be
did.
accountable.
Not at all.
All right,
Speaking
anyways.
of accountability,
Oh, see, his baritone is.
I mean,
there
do we
now.
have an issue? Do we want to? Do we need to record again?
No, we're good.
no,
we're
We
good.
definitely don't.
no, it's just
Those-
we
those
couldn't
jokes.
continue the show like that.
Oh, I know. I completely agree. I was waiting for you to take it off. I was like,
I was waiting for us to
Hey,
switch into the next
Spoolz.
subject.
Suppose low key, the millennials, this is content. Like him taking his mask off, that might get us like 15 more views.
oh,
or
I didn't
something.
know that.
That was
That's
his.
cool.
That was his future shout out.
Okay.
Mask off.
Did
Fair
you just
enough.
like make it throw a shot at millennials in there?
I think we're
I didn't
actually.
understand.
I think
that,
we are
but,
actually. I think we're
Like, all right.
actually in the. We're at the edge of being millennials. Our age group is right at
we're
the
through.
edge
Oh, no,
of
I'm
being
not there.
millennials.
I think you just don't like him.
I'm technically a zennial, I think is what
Well,
they
you
call
know,
it. But I don't
Millennials
know.
make a lot of
I'm,
trash.
I'm the
music,
old
though.
man in the club.
They make a lot of good music too, though.
They do. Kendrick's a millennial. J. Cole.
We're technically millennials.
We are.
If
I
you're-
think they switched it. We're zennials.
We're on the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Zennials.
What's that mean?
I gotta Google that.
In
Yeah, I'm
between
asleep.
millennials and whatever the next shit is. I don't
Was
Hey,
know.
it
I'm
X-
just.
was it
I'm
X
out.
or
I'm just
Y?
out here being fly, doing what I can do. I could care less about what bucket they decide to put.
You don't
us
care
in.
about titles.
That's some selfish shit. All right,
No, it
let's
ain't.
go
That's
to
some
the.
real shit.
Let's go ahead and go to. Let's get into some music. Shout out to Memphis, North Memphis, South Memphis. Where we at, Jay Moore?
Oh yeah, the county seat and
Yeah, Bill Street.
yeah, definitely.
Orange Mound.
Orange Mound. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Philly as well. We don't want no smoke.
Mike doesn't want any smoke.
Yeah, I definitely don't want no smoke. Shout out to Meek. We see y'all.
South
Freeway,
Philly.
South Philly, Freeways, Beer, Beans,
Patti LaBelle,
Patti LaBelle, Will Smith.
the entire Joe Frazier family.
Jazzy Jeff.
Shout out to the Joe Frazier family. Am I missing anything else? Jazzy Jeff.
That's cool. So what are we talking about?
Amelia. I ain't gonna go. Amelia Sparks. I ain't gonna go that route. So, Mr. Kelly, right? We talking about music, right? He definitely applies for music, R&B from the R&B standpoint. So, the Lifetime. Is that a docu-series? Am I saying
would
that
say,
right?
Yeah, docu-series.
Docu-series about Mr. Kelly, Robert Kelly. Shutdown's own has come out. It's premiered.
Chicago had a rough week.
Man, Chicago had a rough week. Multiple reactions, different reactions. We're gonna dive into different sides. Some people, I believe, are playing devil's advocate for no reason. Some people, I believe, are making reactions and they actually believe it. And then there are some people that are just like done with it because they remember what happened. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, the early 2000s. Some of the reactions that have come
90s.
across.
He's been doing this shit since the 90s.
Excuse me, I stand corrected. Shout out to my homie Maine, who lives in Fort Wayne now, but was born and raised in Chicago. He told me when I first came to Chicago, he was like, Kels definitely was at the McDonald's in Chicago. So
The rock and roll McDonald's. Yes.
he definitely told me he was in Chicago outside of the school. So he vouched for that. But so we have people like Chance the Rapper who is saying that it was a mistake for him to work with 𝐀𝐁. In a statement, I downloaded this as well. It says, making a song with R. Kelly was a mistake. It says, at the time, it wasn't even present in my mind that people could feel any type of way about his presence on a track of mine. For a long time, I was only able to understand R. Kelly's situation and presence in the world when it comes down to his trial and his accusations and his accusers as a victim. I don't know if that's because I'm from Chicago or because he made great music or because he's a black man. So Chance sounds pretty, conflicted in terms of what he's done in the past. Common actually said, he had a couple quotes as well. He actually said, we failed as a community because we knew that these things were happening, and instead of trying to help, we were just rocking with the music. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I'm guilty of that myself because I did not stop and be like, no, this is not good. So I saw multiple reactions, many reactions. I'm sure you all have. This thing is weird, man. Like, there's so many layers. Like, you can't really pinpoint something. To me, the tape back in the day, we're all old enough to remember that. That was enough for me to know that fam is trash, and he's been doing bullshit since then. But for some reason, this has opened a new light and shed a new light to some of the things that he actually did. How do you guys feel about that? I'm gonna come to Spoolz first. Spoolz, did you see any of that doc, or are you just kind of watching?
I watched one episode with Jay.
Okay.
I think Jay Moore was over the other night and was like, "Oh, let's check this out." And I think I watched one episode. Right. It's hard to really know who to believe with all this stuff. And I'm not saying I think R. Kelly is a creep, and we've talked about that a number of times on this podcast.
Yeah, get that out
too.
there. Yeah, for sure.
He's definitely a creep. But Master P, and then I heard, I think Ed Lover maybe, or somebody else had a point of view that was like, man, if that was my daughter or my niece, R. Kelly wouldn't be alive right now, or I would be in prison and he would be in a hospital. Like, there's no way any of that shit's going on. So I kind of, from what Common is saying, as like from the black community standpoint, like I can appreciate what he's saying, but from just I don't know. Like I agree with what Master P and them are saying. Like there's no way. I mean, I have a sister. Like there's no way I'm letting something like this happen to my sister. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I don't know. But at the end of the day, it just seems all very. It didn't bring out the best in human beings. Any of this situation. It's pretty gross, man. And it's crazy how publicized it is to me.
Right.
Or maybe not this day and age, like how publicized it is. But I feel like just something new, like this thing's never been put to bed. It constantly comes up.
It's because there's no accountability for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, that's just what I was going to say. I mean, I take not to be that person, but I haven't fucked with R. Kelly since that way back then. When I first heard about it, I was like, well, whatever. All right.
For the record, Lone has always been consistent in terms of, we talk about people that compartmentalize and be like, yo, I can still listen to it, but no, he's trash. Lone is one of the few people that I know for 100% that's been able to be like, yo, if I'm not gonna fuck with you, it's 100%.
But that's how I am across the board with everything.
100%. I agree.
He just falls into that category too.
Yep.
So, but at the same time, I didn't have any type of draw towards his music like that. Like I'm not from Chicago. So I don't have any of that. But I can look at it from the outside and be like, nah, fuck him. I don't need to dive into his music or any more than I've already heard. So
the most interesting layer to this to me is that like this has come out about people before, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
A number of different artists in the past.
James Brown.
Yeah, James Brown.
Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
Elvis Presley. Steven Tyler.
Jerry Lee Lewis. Like people like that, you know what I mean? So, but what's wild about this R. Kelly thing, and maybe this has happened with others too, to an extent, or maybe totally. But so you have this trial, you have a video of him peeing on someone. But that didn't even come close to ending his career.
Right.
If anything, like after like what I don't know the trail of his albums and like what all came out, but I just remember his popularity going up at some point after all of that happened. Like and him putting more and more music out and his popularity gaining again, just being like, wow. Like I was never a big R. Kelly fan anyway. You know what I mean? But just not judging by any means, but just sitting back and just be like, holy shit. Like none of this
judge.
Is it?
In this situation, I
it's
think,
cool to judge.
Oh yeah, but I mean, not judging others for fucking with him real hard again. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
But even Chappelle show, brought that up even higher.
Yeah.
Because he made a whole skit about it. It became huge.
Yeah, dude.
Facts.
Well, what's crazy is I was in radio when all this happened, and it was almost like if anyone else who was listening might have been in the media or in the radio and record industry, it was almost like show prep. Everyone almost, I don't want to say had to watch this video, but it was a whole thing to where for a quick minute, the industry did turn on R. Kelly. Like, I remember that time he had a whole bunch of collaborations and singles with people like Nivea and Truth Hurts, if you remember her. She was on Aftermath. And these people filmed videos and put out the singles without R. Kelly. And I remember
Nivea.
I remember when it was some award show, and of course Ronald Isley and R. Kelly were collaborators on several different projects, and he came out and said, "Shout out to R. Kelly," and the whole crowd started booing. I can tell you exactly when it changed, when that tide turned for whatever reason. Like in this, unfortunately, it is a testament to how people just want to be entertained, and they don't care sometimes about morals. And
that's a fact.
I like being in the industry for that little bit amount of time. I'm never surprised at the lack of integrity when it comes to entertainment and the money that's generated. The first artist who said, "Come on, R. Kelly, we got a collaboration. Let's get in the video," if you remember, was Fat Joe. He had a song called "We Thuggin'," and so people like, all right, well, it's safe to put that out. Then the next thing that came out from R. Kelly, he put out not the remix, but the original Ignition. I remember my program director called me on a Sunday because I worked just an afternoon shift. He's like, "We got this in the mail. Go ahead and play it and see what the reaction is." So I play Ignition. People don't even remember that version. And people were like, "This is whack. Doesn't he have enough trouble, man? R. Kelly's sick. He's got all these problems." But at the very end of Ignition, he says, "Now, usually I don't do this." And it played like maybe 15 seconds of the remix to Ignition. But people talked about that 15 seconds. And then when he actually put out the remix to Ignition, it was almost like people were like, "Well, I don't know. That girl didn't look all that young to me." So when people are, it's like people will make excuses as long as they're entertained.
It's foul, man.
Speaking of excuses, I'm coming to
Foul.
I got a little something to say about it.
I'm coming to Jay Diff. I want you to elaborate on, I guess, how people have treated the situation, because some people are making light of the victims. Some people are finding ways to kind of have certain jokes about certain things. Like you have people that are taking this thing serious, and then you have a lighthearted side. And this is just per my social media from what I've seen. You have people that are taking the dead serious approach, and then there are people that are trying to make somewhat light of it. And I'm like, I don't understand how people are even remotely trying to vouch for dude. But have you seen any instances like that where people are trying to take, I don't know, man, it's just weird, like a lighter approach to the entire situation?
It's actually been more of that, I think. And this whole situation as a whole, I mean, we discussed this on episode 91, I believe, with
good memory.
Sharp memory.
Who was on that episode? I think it was Stakes is High.
Shout out to the homies from Stakes
Terry
is
was
High.
like, it was minute 23:34.
But yeah, we had
Shout
a conversation about
and
that.
Jones. Yes, sir.
About the song he had put out, pretty much the apology song or whatever,
18-minute joint.
which was bullshit.
Trash.
You know what I'm saying? And all through that song, he wasn't really taking accountability for anything. He pretty much was just saying everything that's out there, but not taking blame for it.
Trash.
And even from watching the episodes, the background, how he grew up, how he was molested at a young age, and things like that, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But for you to be in a situation like that and not take accountability for what you've done, I mean, he's been putting the nail in his coffin this whole time. When he did the interview with 𝗀𝗲, when he asked him about
that one was
the
bad.
teenage girls, when he said, "When you say teenage, how old we talking?"
Yeah, that
and
was a
𝗀𝗲
bad
kind of
look.
looked at him like, "Did he really just say this?"
Yeah,
He was shocked.
dead serious.
Yeah, that was trash.
But yeah, as a
100%.
whole, it's crazy to me because I've been seeing a lot of people just so hype about backing R. Kelly right now. Like, I'm still gonna listen to his music. I'm gonna still do this. I'm still gonna DJ his music when I'm out, and I see everybody still dancing to it. Of course, people are gonna dance to it.
Right.
But you as somebody, you have to have a moral compass yourself, as far as that's concerned. Like,
You don't have to.
I haven't played an R. Kelly song out in probably like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And there's R. Kelly's whole catalog is dope.
Right.
But if you can't DJ a set without playing an R. Kelly song, then you might
Get out the game.
need to get out the game, because that R. Kelly song is not going to make your whole set. You know what I'm saying?
I can dig
But
that.
I'm not feeling how people as a whole aren't seeing the behavior that's involved in this and the lives that this has affected.
Right.
Like, minus the parents that may have put their kids in these situations. That doesn't excuse the behavior from this grown man messing with kids, and then as they get older, now nothing can be done because they've been in his care, because you pretty much steered them there. But that doesn't make it cool. And for people to keep, like, it's almost like it's a joke. It's like, I'm going to listen to R. Kelly and I don't care what nobody says. And I'm gonna just keep making these jokes about it. Like there's a meme with a little Power Wheels Jeep in it. Like this is the Jeep he was talking about.
I saw that one.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
saw that on my
And just
timeline.
like all of the like kind of it's almost backhand support to the victims that are involved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you had somebody in your family that this had happened to, I don't think you would be as supportive as you are of this man's music. And you're not getting a check. So why are you so involved and invested in it?
To Spool's point when he mentioned Master P, that's one of the things I thought about from a family standpoint. It's like I don't know, man. Like I lost my train of thought because I'm
It's also not a black or white
how,
thing too,
how
because
important
right,
was it
that's
to
what
be
I meant.
popular? That's what I mean. That's
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like how important is it like to allow your sister, niece, whatever to
There you
be
go.
put in harm's way, daughter?
there you go. There you
Well,
go.
one of the
Potentially?
things,
That's what I meant. There you go.
one
Thank
of the
you,
things that I
Spoolz.
think is most bothersome. Well, it's all this is bothersome,
Right.
But you know, there are people who try to. They're saying, "Oh, well, what he did was messed up." But what about these other people? What about?
Yeah, that's what
See,
I'm saying.
That deflecting,
That's-
especially when they try to point out somebody white. I'm like,
yeah, it's not a black or a
That's
white
what I was
thing.
gonna say.
yeah,
It's overall.
because one of the things, like, because
Creep is a creep is a creep.
because
man.
that's what I hate whenever we talk about a police officer that shoots an unarmed black kid. They'd be like, well, what about black on black crime? It's that
Right.
first of all, there can be two things wrong at the exact same time. So that argument doesn't hold any weight with me. But on top of that, when people say, one of the arguments I hate the most that I've seen is, well, I have a daughter now, so I'm more sensitive to these things. You didn't have to have a daughter
You had a mom.
to be sensitive and understand that women's voices are valuable.
Right.
So for you to even say, like, I hated seeing that Amarion and all these other people talking about, I got two daughters at home. Like, is that only reason why you are what, you know, you probably had, some of these people had two daughters and wives and grandmothers when they was looking for production and songwriting, but it didn't bother them then.
Right.
So
Because
like,
it's
don't
not affecting their bottom line right now.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Right.
That's
right.
and the thing is, R. Kelly. I was Ice Kelly.
We'll go with Ice Kelly.
he's,
That's cool.
Also, a
He's
dope
cold out
R&B
here in these
star.
streets. He's cold out here in these streets.
Yeah, we'll go with Ice
So
Kelly.
now these a multinational conglomerate, Sony Music,
Yeah.
previously RCA, previous Jive, they had probably millions of dollars, tens if not hundreds of $1,000,000 wrapped up in this man's success. So they were going to sweep whatever they needed to sweep under the rug. Now that
Bingo.
he does not have an impact on mainstream rhythmic or even urban AC, they're like, well, his records are cold out here. So because you don't get this kind of documentary made if somebody at the top of one of the ivory towers does not sign off on it.
I like
So
Ivory
like
Towers.
at
I
this
see.
point, they're like, we can throw him to the wolves now. He doesn't generate enough money for him. So
I-
don't think this is
He
about
still
some
has
sort
a
of
record
morality.
deal, though, at the end of the day.
So how did the Scientology documentaries get made? Do you think?
Oh, we can go into that, but maybe not today.
No, I'm saying no. I think because I mean, just not to like shoot any holes or you know what I'm saying, but like him being hot or not, I think I'd like to give people a smidge of credit.
Yeah.
And just finally be like, fuck, like for them to finally be. I mean, but I don't know. I mean, that's
Like for it to go on. This
Yeah.
is 25 years of this guy.
I see what Spoolz is talking
Like
about.
he's
though. I can dig that.
confessed in his music. There's a video called Oreo where he exposes basically his whole lifestyle for the past 25 years, and people are like, "Oh, look at the video."
First of all, the comparisons and these are things that I've seen. This is my personal opinion. The comparisons to other people are trash. The black, they're trying to put a black man down. That's trash because people are trying to use that to, I guess, absolve him from what he did. Like
it's
that's
a-
a trash argument to me.
It's a type of whataboutism in,
Defen-
in a sense, but
defense mechanism or something like.
But
I
it's whataboutism. You know, it's like,
Right.
well, what about if it's like this hypothetical? What about if Justin Timberlake did the same thing? Well, Justin Timberlake didn't.
He
the
didn't
same
do it.
thing. So why are we talking about jumping?
Exactly.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, sick behavior is sick behavior, and there's no excuse for anybody that's doing that type of shit.
Jump in, Lone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, that's all I was going to say. Is like, to me that deflects from the point. Like, I'm all with you when it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, and there's many regards where I feel like white people do get the benefit in a lot of instances, right?
Sure. Sure.
But R. Kelly's a piece of shit. Let's not try to deflect away from what R. Kelly is to make some other
100%.
fucking point.
100%.
It just get the fuck out of here.
Like, I see Cosby. I see anything that people are just pulling out of the air. I'm like, first of all, for me to be able to say when you pull Cosby out of the air, I'm not defending him either. Like, if you're wrong, you're wrong. But I see a lot of people that are trying to justify, or
people are tying their feelings and emotions from what that music and what that did for them at certain parts of their life to make it justifiable. Just like he shouldn't be charting right now because he's on TV about molesting kids. That makes absolutely no sense.
But this is what happens because, once again, he was cold out here. There are people who had no real concept of R. Kelly's music who are rediscovering him through this controversy.
That's a fact.
So in a streaming era, I'm telling you, next week there's going to be a whole bunch of think pieces written about how all these R. Kelly albums have recharted, because we're going to see some of his singles, some of his entire albums hit the top 100 on Billboard.
I'll say this about
you should
that,
write
though.
one for real. Seriously, no. You've got some interesting points on this.
I'll say this about that, though.
Bootleg
as far as what you're saying is concerned is true.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of people that have listened to R. Kelly forever that are going R. Kelly hard. Like, that's all they're riding to right now. Just kind of, and to me, that's spiting the people that are being abused. It's just not a fucking joke.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You're pretty much supporting somebody. You're putting money in this man's pocket for no reason at all, just to be spiteful and to be funny and to get fucking likes and retweets and shit on social media.
Every person that I see that remotely tries to either tie R. Kelly to or use him as a comparison to someone else, or try to, I don't want to say vouch might be the wrong word, but try to draw a parallel to someone else. I'm like, yo, your argument is trash because it doesn't absolve him from the fact that he did what he did. Like, and I see people really, really going hard trying to find a loophole. This isn't a situation, in my opinion, where you find a loophole. I was gone back in the early whatever when everything happened. Like, I didn't need to see anything else. So the documentary itself only enlightens it for me. Like, when I hear his homeboy, his road manager, whatever, talk about, him falsifying documents so that he could marry Aaliyah at 15. Like, what type of cornball is laughing and being, just relaxed?
Aren't involved.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what type of cornball is relaxed and can talk about that situation and have some sort of a chuckle on a documentary when he's falsifying documents for a 15-year-old to get married? Like, that's cornball shit to me.
Her parents are trash for that too.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, everybody involved in this whole
So many
situation are
enablers.
trash. You know what I'm saying? That's just terrible. Like, you have these people's parents talking about they were there when it happened, even after the fact that you knew that he was a despicable individual and was pissing on kids.
So let me. I want to come to Spoolz. To Terry's point, let's talk about the parents. The parents that are involved with the documentary. Let's, you know what I'm saying, from a bread standpoint, from a notoriety standpoint, from a, I guess you could really say, exploitation standpoint of your kids are being exploited because you're a part of this documentary.
Right.
Like, what is your stance on, I'm coming to you, Spoolz, on the parents, them being involved with the documentary and
their involvement with the documentary? To me, it's kind of funny as Jay and I were watching it, because I don't have as much background. I'm serious when I wasn't being a smartass. Like, he does have a lot of insight on this. I think it'd be funny if you should write a piece. I think it'd be good. Post it on bringingdowntheband.com.
that's the hub.
Yeah, we don't do think pieces.
All right, so no think piece. We'll find another. Find another internet source for you. But
we can do it. We can do a sounds white on the phone.
That might be
exclusive.
What
exclusive. I'm bringing down the band.
I like that. Go ahead, Spoolz.
So them being a part of the documentary,
right?
I don't think as bad as of that, to be honest with you, as I do about them letting their children go to R. Kelly's house alone.
That's the Master P route. Yep.
Not even necessarily his house. So
anywhere alone, anywhere where I'm not as a minor, and I'm not there.
You had one group of parents that knew what he was into, but took their 16, 17-year-old daughter to meet him, and then let him take her under his wing because he said that they had someone else that was going to be kind of facilitating and watching
That's
her growth and things
trash.
like
Nope,
that.
I'll be
Yeah,
there.
one of
You
his
knew
peoples.
exactly what the fuck was going on when you put her in that situation.
Yep, I
exactly.
agree.
That's trash.
It's foul, dude. So
Yeah.
that's crazy to me, man. And that kind of goes back to what we were, talking about before. It was like how important is popularity,
And money.
Yeah.
It comes down to some of these people saw through the dreams of their children, saw an opportunity, and they were like, well, that was Aaliyah, whatever. It didn't matter.
Right.
Okay, well, that videotape, it could have been anybody on that video.
Right.
You'll make excuses. I don't know how much money it is for some people to step out on their own morality, but I think that is what happened in a lot of these places with these. I'm not victim shaming at all. I don't want to come off as that, but we got to talk about who are these parents, who are these people who said, yeah, I'll let my kid hang out with R. Kelly. Perhaps he can be a mentor. No, he can't be a mentor.
He can't be a mentor.
Well, and when you talk about accountability and we're talking about the enablers, because that's really where a lot of this comes into play, where the people between the police officers, the people at radio, the people who worked at his record company, all those people who let a lot of this go on and just turned a blind eye. I saw a guy on internet talking about how his son was getting into making commercials, and his son saw the craft services table, because they have all this food set up for everybody who's working on the commercial. And his son said, no, I want these kind of fruit snacks, and I'm not filming, 4-year-old kid, and I'm not filming until you bring me these kind of fruit snacks. But you know what? The producers went out and got those fruit snacks so they could keep the party going, so they can make sure that the work gets done. And so if you're thinking about a 4-year-old doing a one-off commercial, think about somebody like R. Kelly, who's written hundreds of songs, hit songs that's generated hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
This is when enabling comes into play, and that's like why I said earlier when at the beginning of the discussion why I'm never surprised at the lack of integrity in the entertainment business. It's because it comes down to the mighty dollar.
What's wild?
Jump
It's like
in,
nobody
Spoolz.
was like, oh, it's weird that R. Kelly only works with young girls between the age of like 15 and 17 or 18. Like nobody was like, weird. He's never brought up like a male
brainwashed
R&B
some older
star
ones, too.
or like but
He sprinkled those in,
Yeah,
but I mean,
Sparkle and Selena
Those are
Johnson.
sprinkles, though. Those are sprinkles.
yeah,
nah, dude.
they're in there. I mean, if you watch,
No, I'm
if you
just
watch
saying.
the whole
I'm
thing,
just saying. Like
there's
the whole
one
thing's foul.
particular lady that was
Facts.
like 31, 32.
Not convincing
that
enough
went
to
through
let
that.
my child go.
Yeah,
Right, definitely
That's,
not.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And then like as a parallel, you have the whole situation with 𝗀𝗄𝘄 𝗢𝗱 going on, who just was granted clemency.
Yep.
So
Good for her, by the way.
she's actually those girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have people that are backing, that are so happy about her getting out of this situation.
Yeah.
She's been in jail for 15 years now,
yeah.
and she's going to be released in August.
Yeah.
She's those girls.
Facts.
So how can you applaud her for
Be
getting
happy,
out of
yeah.
her situation,
Right.
but yet kind of demonize the kids and stuff because of the parents and what they put them in, but still be cool with R. Kelly?
Yeah,
So
I
that
want
doesn't
to
make any
be
sense.
clear too. Like I'm not demonizing any of the kids.
Sure. No, we
I
get
just
it.
think the parents were kind of fucked
Oh,
up
no.
for allowing any of this to
Yeah,
happen.
Sparkle needs to
100%.
go.
Fucked up,
Sparkle
yeah.
needs to go to jail too.
Sparkle was a great
Was that the
movie, by
one? Was
way.
that
That's
the
the
was that the
aunt.
mom that was like, oh, by the way, I've got a video.
That was
coming
the
out?
aunt.
No, that was her. She let her niece be around R. Kelly. This is after Aaliyah,
Her niece is the one in the tape.
apparently, yeah.
And she was the one that just happened to shoot a video and was plugging it on the
Yeah,
documentary.
Trash.
Yeah, she's like, my single's out tomorrow, and I'm
All of
like,
that- all of
now's
that-
not the time, Mom.
All of that is trash. All of that is trash.
And
100% trash.
I don't understand how he was able to get off on that, because you had the other young lady that was in the documentary that said she was part of those sex acts with the underage girl.
Facts.
So if she's in there and she's saying that she recognizes the situation, regardless of if the girl is saying that wasn't me in there, and the girl's parents were saying that too.
You only need one juror to say, I didn't see it.
That's
But,
crazy.
The
but
creepy.
just like they found him not guilty, let's not put all of you, because they found George Zimmerman not guilty too.
Yeah.
So let's not put all that into that.
I mean,
But we ain't comparing.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I wanted to be based on that.
Yeah, true, but still.
And the 𝗀𝗄𝘄 𝗢𝗱 too, like she got clemency, but she didn't get pardoned.
Right.
Nah.
She still got 10 years.
She
She
got
got
10
10 years
years.
of parole.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that part. That's a good
Yeah.
point, Long.
Mm-hmm.
So back to the R. Kelly thing real briefly. There's also, I don't know if there's truth to this, but I saw a report today that said that his team is launching a website called Surviving Lies.
Well, it was a
Actually,
Facebook page.
Facebook decided
and they
to shut
it
that down.
Yeah.
Oh, did
It's
they?
amazing how they can shut that down, but okay.
Don't even
Not
get
gonna go
started.
there.
I
But-
see you
Yeah,
though, but
Facebook
don't even
took
get
it, they
started.
shut it down.
But also today,
Oh,
his
great.
his publicist, his lawyer, like they've all decided that they no longer want to work with Mr. Kelly.
And Georgia has decided to press charges or look into whatever he had going on. So
Who?
Georgia,
the state of
State
Georgia.
of Georgia.
Well, when you brought up the 𝗀𝗲𝗄 𝗔𝗲, I was like, that was almost a perfect way to bring this back around. But why people can be happy for 𝗀𝗲𝗄 𝗔𝗲 and still trying to demonize and say bad things about these kids, because these kids are messing with the level of joy that R. Kelly brought to them.
Facts.
Like
100%.
One of R. Kelly's song, like, I Can't Sleep, that got me through a breakup, but I'm perfectly happy never listening to that song ever again. There are R. Kelly songs that I just don't like. I think are great songs, but it's a rap on him. I don't want to hear the remix to Ignition. I don't want to hear bumping, especially when I know what those songs are about. Like you listen to some of the songs now, you're like, this is real creepy. He has a song called House Party, or I can't remember, off one of his records, and it's like one of the ad libs is Parents Out of Town. I was like, dude, you made that record when you were 35 years old. Now Parents Out of Town takes on a whole nother meaning.
Hey,
He wrote Aaliyah's whole album, which was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
The joint
And that was Aaliyah's record,
Yeah.
which he produced.
The joint that bothered me the most was and this again my personal opinion, was a You Are Not Alone by Michael Jackson.
The Michael Jackson joint.
And I this is per whatever happened on the documentary. This is pertaining to a underage woman, I guess, that had a miscarriage for him, right? So I'm like, yo, you just killed a joint that actually was really, really cold by Michael Jackson. But you wrote that joint for him, and I'm like, I can't separate the two now in hindsight. I just can't. You know what I mean? Like, I just can't separate the two. That's crazy when you think about it, because that's actually a dope song. But when you dissect the lyrics, I was with my cousin. Shout out to my cousin James. He's a patron as well, so he's giving us that bread. We appreciate you. And I was like, yo, just think about the lyrics. And I started singing the lyrics. He was like, damn, you're right. Like, it's trash.
I mean, songs can be brilliantly written. Songs can be art and clever in that way and still be fucked up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Sure.
Especially when you think about the inspiration.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
like it could be a great song. A lot of R. Kelly songs, even if they're about different things, like they can still be artistic.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't, just because they're artistic doesn't mean that it's like something that's like you want to listen to. Like,
You
you can be
can't-
artistic about fucking a goat if you want to.
You
know,
can't
like,
deny
it's-
I don't know
his-
about
his
that.
musical genius.
I mean, Black Mirror was about fucking a pig. You know what I mean? So I'm just
wow,
saying, like,
yeah, I
it's
guess
just.
so.
Yeah, you can't
I'm cool
deny
on
his
that.
musical genius, because even with the whole Jacquees thing, with the King of R&B thing came up, in light or despite what he is, R. Kelly did have that title as the King of R&B.
I never really bought into that, but I
How-
feel you.
How do you not?
How do you not? He was.
How do you not?
art on art? If
I think
his music in a vacuum, but that's not reality, is incredible. But
Yeah.
it's not so incredible that I feel like I have to play it
I
in
can
light
let it
of all
go.
these things that have
I can
happened.
walk away from that shit.
I mean, you know, that to me that's subjective.
I don't know. It might be fact, bro.
It's
I love the
subjective.
song "I Wish." You know, anybody who's ever lost someone close to them, like,
for sure.
I
But
believe
I
I
can-
Can Fly was being sung in churches.
and high school graduations. Like
For
he
sure.
wrote the song for the 2010 World Cup. It's an incredible record. I Can Let It Go.
For sure. For sure. Like I said, I don't know, man. It's
You know,
I don't know, man.
he's a piece of shit, though. You gotta let this shit go.
100%. 100%.
You gotta let it go.
100. Oh, you don't have to fight
You gotta
me.
know when to
Yeah.
fold them.
No one.
I'm not even necessarily talking. I'm talking to everybody else that
Facts.
wants to hold him at this high standard still, regardless of what the fuck he's done.
King of R&B is like
it's time.
It's crazy.
It's time to just let go.
Move
Yeah.
on,
You,
man.
I know you already
It's
did.
time.
We all have.
It's
You can
time
rock
to-
a party without R. Kelly songs.
You can 100%.
You know.
I agree with that.
And granted, this is a subject that could be scrutinized down the line depending on what we want to talk about, we could talk about artists that are abusive in other ways.
Sure.
Across the board. So this could, and so many things that artists could be talking
Where
about.
we at time wise? We got, how much we got left? We probably got
about 5 minutes.
All right, so real quick, before we go to the rundown, I'm going to try to see if we can squeeze this in. How stupid is Omarion for saying, yo, I'm going to take these R. Kelly or whatever these joints are inspired. We're going to take these out after we get this tour and I get
It's
this
actually
bread.
not stupid.
I have a take on that.
Please tell me, because I think that's stupid.
It's not stupid.
He shouldn't even say anything.
Why else would
So here's
there's
my
only
take.
3 songs.
So here's
He
my
shouldn't
take.
even say anything. Go ahead.
So maybe he shouldn't have. But was the tour already announced? One.
Yep.
Have tickets already been bought for it?
Yep.
Are people expecting those songs?
Yep.
Yep.
Then it's complicated at that point. Now, does that mean that he shouldn't have done this a long ass time ago though?
There we go.
B2K hasn't been relevant until 3 weeks ago.
But
You're right, dude.
But
No, Sean's right, dude. This dude he's been a creep for 25 years. Like
Once
everybody's
again,
known it.
everybody's
now a
moral.
fucking documentary comes out and everybody
It's
wants
like,
to be like,
oh!
and I don't. It's
It's
it's insane.
Thank
Well,
you,
he's
Spoolz.
saying that because it goes back to what we all have been saying. It affects their bottom line.
Bottom line,
They
popularity.
have not been together for what, 10 years?
Oh
And
no,
now
I'm
they've
not
decided-
disagreeing.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
They haven't been together for 10 years. They decided to come together and do this tour. I think R. Kelly may have written maybe 3 songs. So they're going
The
to
3
perform.
biggest hits.
Yeah, they're going to perform those songs. That's smart for him to say that because there are people out there, like I said, there's a majority of people that are still fucking with it regardless. So him saying it, it doesn't really fucking matter. It's just him saying that he's in tune to what's going on. And I'm going to let y'all know that we have some R. Kelly songs, but I want to pull in those the
I ain't
ones
take
that
it
weren't
that
going
way,
to come.
bro. I didn't take it that way, bro. To me,
Well.
it sound like a reach to be like, yo, I want to make sure I jump on this wave and make sure I'm safe. But I'ma
Allegedly,
get
they
this
were
bread.
touched too, though. Allegedly.
But that's different, though. I'm talking
It's the
about,
same shit.
but I'm talking about in relation to the
They
R. Kelly.
still collect bread from
They're going
that.
to
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
To me, I took that as I'm gonna get this bread, and then I'm gonna do what y'all doing after I get this bread.
Who touched B2K?
Do we
That's
really
a
want to
whole
get
other
into that?
situation.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know. I don't. I was just curious. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's.
But-
It's all.
Jay Moore, don't do
alleged.
that. We ain't
But-
gonna do that one.
but
Yeah,
let-
We ain't
let's
gonna
not do that one.
But let's be serious here, though. When we talk about R. Kelly,
Yep.
it doesn't stop at his songs. It's everything that funnels money back to him, which
100%.
is his publishing, which
Facts.
is songs that he's written. So it's like it's all these artists that have worked with him too. It's not just R. Kelly songs.
Michael
it's,
Jackson,
It's Michael Jackson. It's
Celine Dion.
all
He
of these
wrote, he
joints.
wrote
Whitney
all of
Houston.
He wrote all of Genuine's music, didn't he? Or most of it?
I don't
Some
think
of
so.
it.
I think they
I thought he
collab. They
They've
did
got-
They
collab.
may have.
though.
I don't think
they
he
collab.
wrote a lot of it like that.
I thought
though.
R. Kelly wrote Pony.
No, he didn't write Pony.
No? Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't
Sounds
think
like something he'd write,
I don't
but
think
no.
Timberland liked R. Kelly to the point where he would let R. Kelly pretty much write that album for him, especially
Yeah.
on the track that he produced.
We could have a whole other episode about Dame Dash coming in talking about, he's getting on R. Kelly, and he's also talking about Jay being involved with, Aaliyah.
Same Dame Dash
I'm
that was
sorry,
in the
not Aaliyah,
Fiesta
but
video.
That's what I posted. I said the same Dame Dash that was in the video.
Well, I don't know when him and Aaliyah started dating, so you know what? It is
Either
what it
way,
is.
the
But
Fiesta,
still, once
the
again,
Fiesta
in the
video,
entertainment industry.
if I'm not mistaken, the Fiesta video was after that.
That
tape
was
came
right.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that was
Right?
in that same era.
So you
Pretty
shitting on
much.
Jay for being involved with R. Kelly. Now you're shitting on him now, but choosing the Fiesta video popping bottles. I don't understand how that matches up.
I mean, people can be hypocrites. He could be right on both accounts.
So maybe that's what he is.
because that's
Maybe
the
what he
entertainment
is.
industry, a bunch of hypocrites.
He claims that his name and stuff. I don't know anything about the Fiesta video. I don't even remember him being
He's
in it.
definitely in the Fiesta video.
But he was saying as far as the group
Best-
albums and things like that they were putting together in the Not Guilty song.
Yeah,
He was saying he didn't have anything to do with any of that.
But bro, how adamant he was about Hov's participation with Kells.
I think
Right?
what that was based off of him dating Aaliyah and getting this intel from
I'm not
her.
mad at that. That's cool.
So I mean,
I'm
I
not
don't,
mad at that.
I don't really know the whole story to judge his situation as
Hey,
far as what was going
If
on.
I
with
was
that.
you,
Ron
I would
Rockefeller.
watch. If I was you, I would watch Dame Dash's video because when Jay Moore talked about Fiesta, I posted that as well. My only thing is, you really, really coming at Hov hard about being in association with R. Kelly, but we see you in the video with bottles and having a good time in the Fiesta video.
Sounds like you trying to defend Jay-Z right now.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
All that shit's hindsight. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
He's not saying he didn't want to fuck with Jay-Z based on that. He's
Maybe-
saying he
okay,
didn't
maybe
like R. Kelly.
Maybe I took it
Yeah,
wrong.
he
Fair
did
enough,
have a
fair
relationship
enough.
with Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that makes sense for him to say that. To my opinion.
Maybe
from
okay,
what
that's
I
fair.
and
That's
from
fair.
what I saw, he said, Dame said what? That Aaliyah said that she didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
Essentially, right?
Right.
That he's a bad man or something and didn't want to talk about it.
Right.
But that was also one of the main reasons why Dame and Jay essentially split. That's what he was
Apparently,
alluding
that's-
to.
Huge
that's
part
part
of
of
it.
it.
It's a
That's
huge
part
part
of
of it. Yeah.
Well, who knows?
I'm not mad at that. That's fair. That's fair. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. That's cool.
All right, let's see.
All right, so let's let's do a rundown real quick. What do we have? Anything popping within the city? DJing, emceeing. Jay Moore, what's your rundown? Talk to me real quick.
Of course, Thursday today, I'm going to be with Action Jackson, DJ Lemmy Vice at Tiki Bob's. We do that every Thursday.
All right.
Saturday night, going to be at the 𝐀𝐿𝐴. That's right, 𝐀𝐿𝐴 back with DJ Lockstar. And on Saturday night at the Patron Saint, new spot in downtown Indianapolis. Used to be 𝗡𝗲𝗄. They got a new fly motif in there.
Word.
And it's going to be Confessions. It's an all R&B party with no R. Kelly.
I see you.
That's with
What
Lemmy
night?
Vice. That's Sunday night.
Sunday night.
And I'll be hosting that with Lemmy Vice, DJ Gigante. We got a couple special guests. People are going to hop on. So
What time does that start?
let's see. It starts around 10 o'clock, goes till 3 o'clock, and when the people stop buying all the fine New Orleans inspired
I
drinks.
might have to come
They
through
got
there,
a dope
man.
ass Patron like frozen drink in there.
it's
I like it.
Yeah.
I might have to come through there, man. That's what's up. Long. we gotta
Saturday
get-
night, 7 to 10 at
Yep.
Patron Saint, Lo-Fi Hip Hop. Saturday nights, David Peck.
Sponsored by Bringing Down the Band. David
Indeed.
Peck, we see you.
Yes, indeed.
.com.
.com. Appreciate you, Spoolz. Shout out to the sponsor, 317-255-8546. Coleman Dental, get your teeth right. No Bad Ideas. They always lace us. Printfinity. Can't wait till y'all see that artist line they got coming out. Bringing Down the Band is a hub as always. Did I forget anybody? Indie CD and vinyl as well. They have laced us with wax. They have been great, so we appreciate them as well.
Indeed. Thank you all.
Yes, so for Spoolz, DJ Jay Diff, Jay Moore, Lonegevity, I am Major 7th. Red August is in the building. This will conclude this episode 115. I hope I didn't say the right
That's right.
number.
Indeed.
215s.
Don't do that. And we'll see y'all next week. We
612s.
appreciate the support. Patreon.com/New Old Heads. Check us out. Subscribe. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
I guess I'm done. I'm done.